Alright, so let's keep this pain train going here.
Yes. I'll say more about J and U in a moment, but the biggest question that most people have at this point on the chart is, why did some of the letters flip? Well, originally many of the letters, like B or K, could be written either way. This was because originally the Greeks and Romans wrote both left to right as well as right to left, and the direction of certain letters
to the direction of travel inside here. Actually, when you do matrixing and mathematics, like you do on my pages,
standard. Perhaps because
you can read like that. Let's look at my timeline, for example.
Takes place when you write left to right.
Okay.
Of course,
I'm giving you a lot of mathematics here,
like
actually.
Hebrew and Arabic,
do I use it now? Do I don't use it then? Can I change it from time topologies to reference what I want it to be today? Let's get the bold tomb out here.
Into stone, everyday writing among those who were literate was actually taking place in
the uppercase and lower cases are different in the reality of what's going on actually at the moment. Now, at that moment, we're talking about training a bunch of kids the way it's going to sensibly work
sort of a
inside of
version of the capitals.
Some alpha A sound to forging that out right now in Mandarin. Would have been the last one I heard. When horse, rice, and your mother all have the same words in common of the letters because they mean a certain thing mathematically, right? And there it'll make good sense given what part of the equation you're dealing with first or how the cultural base would work. Now, what you're not going to know from here at Uniform with your table of reads is just who the hell was out there that day, or if your jobs are similar to that system. You're going to need to make a token for that. You're going to put that to the scales. Is that balance the scales? Is that correlate in this way that map is congruent to the next map and how we're depicting the wording in general? From everybody, sky, water blue, grass green. Okay. If you get those things wrong, not only are there alternate ways and actions of spooky distances to adjust that the same way, to say, well, if the sun and that area is correct. Now that's a fun little thing to do. And chemistry to deal with fusion explicitly.
Obviously,
CERN feeding eater.
So as literacy grew and the demand for
nuclear waste being useful for something, all the scrap in the stone mill, right? You know, this is scrap, right? This is just some letter under the tone of which to this system we chisel it in to whether it's the HR guy, whether it's the guy that got shot in the leg, which is this guy, and he's having some fun with the anti-memetics introduction to him. It's like that'll come up. Not only is it right, but it's wrong, and it's wrong, but it's right. Hopefully you get to the crew adjustment to why you're on everybody's cycle like that, their period inside of where it applies inside of here.
Now that we've done that overview,
because that's the game we want to play. That'll come up. That messes things up real good. Sometimes there's a rabbit and a half pipe.
A, B, C.
Oh yeah.
But in the Hebrew and Greek alphabets, which are older, the first three letters are the equivalent of A.
You get out there, Rome,
G.
and why do they do what they do? You know, why is it the way it is?
What happened is this.
You know, we're added up like this. This capital form sigma n equals theta, right? You know, we'll just put a theta in there. This angle right here.
And a k sound. This led the Romans to make a major change to the alphabet.
Mexican standoff on Keenan Peele's version of the camp today.
To the k sound. And they
Tucker's going to tell you about you lack purpose, Mason Robot. And at the end of it, he's like, damn it, you know, that's bullshit.
Which was basically just a C with an extra little line.
Next comes the symbol of the ranks of vile for the conspiracy card.
By this point, the order of the alphabet had
you got
become
coming at it with this, Will Turner.
Each letter was associated with a number. So when the Romans placed the letter G in the number 7 spot, they had to move the letter that had previously
to Will Turner, if the numbers and letters
was the letter Z. Also known as
toss a
Z.
grenade in there
the
for
Romans
you, bud.
didn't use that letter very much, so they simply moved it all the way to the end, which is why the alphabet today ends with the letter Z.
It is.
One of the most important letters in the alphabet in terms of its evolution is
I mean that.
the
It's like,
6th
so,
letter,
hon,
which
if we
today
go delving
is
into
our
this, and
letter
you too,
F.
brother.
That's because there are
Let's
5
get to it.
letters
It's like,
in our
he's going to
alphabet
keep pushing.
today that
This guy
all
went
trace
down
their
at 9.
origin adopted this
9G is a lot. She's going to make it to 3 or 4.
It was depicted as a walking stick
and not be able to handle it, This is, you have to learn to push through that thing to actually peg 60 at 100, where I can glass out like that while looking through the wall here.
From the Phoenicians, they split this one letter into 2.
Something to think about. You'll be doing it too, because there's more than one of them that does it.
For them, it looked similar
Gene Lock Simulator Data Redacted 79. Data Redacted would have been all this information right here.
It was eventually dropped from the Greek alphabet.
Physical law testing chamber.
In the Latin alphabet and became our letter.
You know, every once in a while, Mark, I'd like to beat the hell out of you real good. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna put myself in that lunch line about what this is in terms of the timeline, the adjusted. Yeah, you can fuck up down on me, man, but. And inevitably, in the end of it, it'll just put you in a scar spot, you know.
V and Y, and the letter V ended up playing several roles at once. Sometimes it was a vowel, like in Julius, but sometimes
if I got Jan Mike inside here, because that's how she penned in, guess what? Let's click right here about windage on you acting between here and here on the math equation. Might imply to the windage. In the forecast of the hurricane today, when I whisper in his ear, I feel theory like a dragon boss. I don't know.
At that point, it was split into U and V. And then eventually a W was added as well, which strangely actually often looks more like a double V. The other letter that we have today,
then you'd probably do better in that mask than some other ones before it melts you like sulfuric or fluoroantimonium acid.
The letter J was just a fancy version of the letter I, used whenever it came at the beginning of a word. But eventually, in many languages, it evolved as a unique sound. And therefore, the fancy I was eventually added to the alphabet
police
as the
for this one.
J.
Or
Let's now take a look
the guards
at some of
outside
the letters that
the
used
Senate,
to be in the
right? The National Guard.
no longer
Those
around.
guys.
As I mentioned
shut up,
earlier,
fucking eat
the
your bill and
Romans
keep it
dropped
simple,
a lot
stupid.
of Greek letters because they simply didn't need them.
No.
These included theta and psi, but also a letter called san that the Greeks ended up dropping as well.
Hopefully you've done your job right
also
here.
Point out that the
You will be
Greeks
warden.
Added several
3B.
letters that
You
never
will be.
made their way into the Latin alphabet. These include
But
phi,
it doesn't matter.
psi, and
Because
omega,
in the lunch
which
line,
was
that's
based
what
on the
that
letter
is. If
O,
they keep having
and
heat
also
down there, it's
Psi,
not like anything
which
else
the
having
Greeks
heat the
dropped as
same
well.
way.
The only Greek-created letter that did make it into the Latin alphabet is the letter chi, which we call X.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to point out 2 medieval letters that once upon a time
here in the Conjuring
were
clique, we
used
get
to
it
write
right.
English,
You
but are
know,
no
usually we
longer
spend
a
all
part of
day
our modern
trying to
alphabet.
figure out who's
Anyone
got the
who has
altar,
studied a bit
right?
of
You know, the
Old
military
English
altar or
is
otherwise.
likely familiar with these.
One girl to
They
another
are thorn
inside here.
and wind.
You played this
And
game
in both
before.
cases,
It's
their letter
very
shape was adopted
important,
from
wide
runic letters,
open.
as opposed to directly from Latin. Thorn